Hong Kong, the China-ruled financial hub, has improved a new national security law, as if the ones introduced in the past were not draconian enough. Now, past protests against such rules aimed at muzzling in the former British colony were crushed by authorities. The pro-democracy movement of Hong Kong was destroyed, with its leaders jailed or forced into exile. So what is this new security law called Article 23? Let me decode it for you. Article 23 is a national security law that gives Hong Kong government new powers to crack down on all forms of dissent, espionage, and external interference in Hong Kong's internal affairs. Now, this is the latest effort to bring down Hong Kong to its knees. But let me tell you how it all started. Flashback to the year 1997. Now, that was when Britain handed over Hong Kong to China. At that time, China pledged to preserve much of what makes Hong Kong unique, allowing the region considerable political autonomy for 50 years under a framework that is known as one country, two systems. Fast forward to 2003. An attempt to pass the National Security Bill was shelved after massive protests. 500,000 Hong Kongers marched on the streets, and more than 90,000 submissions were made during a 3-month consultation. 16 years later, in 2019, the government of Hong Kong proposed a bill that would have allowed extraditions of dissidents to mainland China. Now, in response to this, the people of Hong Kong took to streets again in record numbers. The law was used to prosecute many leading activists, including media tycoon Jimmy Lai and former student leaders like Joshua Wong and Lester Shum. So what is this new law about? Now, Hong Kong authorities say the new legislation, which comes into effect on March 23rd, is necessary to reinforce existing national security laws. The new law expands on the government's power to stamp out future challenges to its rule. Now, it includes tough penalties for people convicted of endangering national security for some offenses. They can be jailed for life for so-called collusion with external forces. Those who damage public infrastructure with the intent to endanger the state, they could be jailed for 20 years. It allows for closed-door trials and gives the police right to detain suspects for up to 16 days without charge. The city's leader will now have authority to ban organizations and companies from operating in Hong Kong, should they be found working for foreign forces. Now, the law is being seen by critics as further signs of Chinese mainland asserting its power over Hong Kong, in violation of promises made when the UK handed over the city to Beijing.
So how can you say that Hong Kong is still liberal and international under that lens looking into the world? And how can you say that there is significant separation and differences in between Hong Kong and China if they see it in that way? The premises of one country, two system is that we have two systems and we have two completely different political and legal and social system. But for now, seemingly, there's only one in between these two places.
So what is in store for Hong Kong now? The Chinese officials and Hong Kong government are claiming that the new security law balances security with safeguarding the rights and freedoms of Hong Kong residents. But we have been here before. A massive force was used in the past to suppress any form of opposition. Now the democracy movement of Hong Kong is all but dead. The new law will only further silence their voices.